Hi.
Hey, we're back again.
Happy Thursday. We're back again for the first time in...
A little bit.
Oh, it's been too long. It's been like 5 weeks maybe?
5 weeks?
It's been a long time.
And
since
I wasn't
we
here
dropped
for the last one, I don't think.
No, the last one was Lindsay's episode.
Oh, that was the last one.
Yeah.
Wow, the groundbreaker.
I know.
Yeah.
Dude, seriously.
Yeah, she single-handedly put us on the map.
I know, literally.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lindsay. We
Yes.
appreciate you.
Yeah, and it's changed our focus a little bit too, trying to get other
Other
stories
guests.
in, other people on. So it's been good.
Yeah, totally.
We can talk a little bit about updates, so everyone knows where we've been. And what we're
And
doing.
why we've been not here. Yeah, we're expanding the gym, and it's a couple days away from opening, hopefully.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were supposed to be open on Monday, but there's just been setbacks.
Yeah.
And anybody that's done home improvements at your house and tried to budget, that knows that whatever you think is going to happen, you got to add like another 15 or 20% on, because it's going to be at least that. So
Yeah, and then a brick and mortar business is even more than that, because the permitting and the inspections are like next level. Like you have to have everything fucking perfect. It's so stressful.
yeah, I was in there earlier this week, and there was a contractor there, and he was basically saying caulk the toilets to the floor. And I'm like, well, that's a given, but he's like, oh, they'll fail you for that, and then that's going to be another, however many days you got to wait to get another.
Well, that's what's fucked up about it, is like they won't come back that day.
Yeah.
They'll be like, no, you've got to do this. And like, we'll be back tomorrow to see if you've done it. And you're like, wait, this will take me an hour. And they're like, doesn't matter. We'll come back tomorrow.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's tough out here. It is tough out here, but we're confident the space looks really good.
It looks great.
Yeah, we're excited for it. There's a lot of new equipment.
So much new equipment.
We have that cable crossover gym that's huge for me.
The turf is so much bigger.
Yeah, so we've got four
lanes.
4 lanes instead of 1 lane that we had at the last one.
We've got like 6 sleds now, 5 or 6 sleds.
Yeah, it looks pretty sharp. So, and if you know Heido, you know that once we get open, whatever it looks like is not going to look like that in 2 years. He's going to continue to modify, move stuff around, optimize efficiency. He's always improving. Which is one reason we like working with him.
Yeah, totally.
So
we love it.
Please come check us out there. It's an extended, bigger space. It's on 64th and Wadsworth. It's right next to the old Sales, and Sales has
which is not there anymore.
Which is not there anymore, and it's moved out. Yeah, and kind of good riddance.
No, literally.
Yeah, kind of good riddance. And I don't, we usually don't get on here and badmouth people, and I'll be honest, I've never met, is it John Seo? I'm not sure what, I've never met him, so I'm not going to talk about his character, but just reading what you can find on the news, his wife getting convicted and being put in prison for tax fraud, his son being arrested for allegedly raping one of the students at the space.
And them owing $500K to the plaza that we are in, that we personally pay rent to. So that's how much back rent they owe. It's a year and a half's worth.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
So this is not like slander or libel. These are all things you can Google. You can Google right now. Google Seos, Google Sales tax fraud. Google sales with rape. Their eviction that they've just had. So it's kind of nice having them out of that space. Mm-hmm. I know before I was there. Just things like putting the sandwich board out. We had a sandwich board that you would put out that would advertise our rates and the things that we offered at the gym. And he would come over and give Miguel a hard time about that.
Oh,
about
really?
And he had a non-compete in his lease that dictated terms of what we're allowed to advertise or not. And it's kind of funny because the same thing happened with us with Anytime Fitness. When Anytime Fitness opened up, Miguel kind of was very upset about that. And I remember trying to calm him down. And that's one thing I'm very grateful about Heido for, is because Heido didn't really care about Anytime Fitness, which we don't either.
Yeah, they don't. They're not really our competition. They're in a completely different niche.
100%. And I could, to me, it's like if you're McDonald's and a Burger King opens the street from you, hating the managers or trying to view them as competition as opposed to like, well, it's just another option and it's more traffic. all that does is give you more traffic.
I mean, that plaza's popping these days.
Yeah, so just
bingo.
At the bingo parlor, and that it's just that there's more fitness places, and I know that what's moving into our spot, our old spot, is a jiu-jitsu place.
Yep.
It's a husband and wife. I don't know much about their story, but once again, it's just more traffic and it's more people coming in, and I don't see why you would ever be upset about having anybody that's coming into your community. Like if you're having a new member in your community, why would you not welcome them with open arms unless they're allegedly raping? Unless they're allegedly raping members and committing tax fraud on large scales that require imprisonment. So I'm excited for the new opportunities. We've had it's kind of cool as we've been opening and doing the renovations, just seeing other members of the community coming in. The massage parlor next door, I've seen them. They come in and kind of poking their nose in. It's nice interacting with them because they don't seem, they're kind of, stick to their own. They kind of stay in the massage parlor. The girl at the bridal shop, why can't I remember her name? I just met her. She came in. She was just a joy. Is it Kate, the girl at the
wedding seamstress?
Not the wedding seamstress, but the gift shop that opened up. The new. We also have a new Italian shop that opened up, and you can tell that's a true Italian place, not just because the food that they serve, but their weird fucking hours, which is like an Italian thing. It's like they're open like 4 days a week at these certain hours. But I haven't eaten there, and it's not because I don't want to. It's just I just kind of don't go to Italian very often. It doesn't fit my macros.
Your macros.
But every person I know that goes there talks about how great that place is. So, and I wish I could remember the name of it, but it's over there next to Subway. It's nice. Seeing the place flourish is nice. Seeing sales get the fuck out of there, and a new jiu-jitsu place. And, it's just, it's a nice, 25 years ago, the Seos was a Circuit City, I think. Oh, I used to go in there. Yeah, when I was at Arvada West, when I went to high school there, we'd go there on our lunch break, and you go in there and you'd look at stereos and shit and CDs. And it's different now because you don't do that anymore. But that was what we used to do when I was younger. Was you'd go to music stores and it's just nice seeing this place that used to flourish. It's went through a cycle and it's starting to come on the up and up. And
for sure,
I can't help the thing that we have had a little bit to do with that, by impacting our community.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and look at George's. George's is the business, the diner. I eat there all the time.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah, I like George's.
See you walking across the parking lot. I'm like, oh, he's going to George's.
Yeah, they George's sold the place, and they they just kept it the same. It's the same staff, it's the same menu, it's the same. Cool. Yeah, most people don't know that, but George isn't there anymore. It's no longer George. It's I don't know who the guy is. It's him and his wife or whatever. I don't know who they are.
Everybody knows that place though. Like whenever I tell them, because I don't eat there, so I don't think to mention that as a landmark. But I'll say, "Oh, where's your gym?" And I'll tell people, and they'll be like, "Oh, is that the same plaza as George's?"
Yeah.
And I'm always like, "Yeah, it is."
That's where we are.
People love George's.
So those are our updates. I'm windy there. I went over time. But we do have topics that we want to talk about today because that's why we're here. It's a gym and tonic. We talk about fitness, nutrition, things that we hope that you will benefit from. And I know I've had, especially since Lindsay's podcast, I have so many people come up and and talking. So thank you, Lindsay, for once again coming on here and sharing your story, and that it's sparked other people to kind of listen to what we talk about. And it's not just us sitting here shooting the shit, which we do, but it is talk about
and
things
we will continue to as well. But we also we have plans for a couple more guests, and I'm excited.
Next week we have Matthew Elwin, or Rebec. He comes to Yoga Sculpt religiously, and he partakes in the HIIT classes at the gym.
Right.
And he's got a pretty impactful story. His was, we'll just let him tell it when he gets here. So you might want to make sure to tune into him, and then he'll chime in with us and talk about some nutrition.
Cool.
But today
he's the one, because I get comments about this all the time. He's the one that eats ice cream.
Yes.
The amount of people that say to me, or they'll like respond to my stories on Instagram, they're like, Tell Robbie that I've been eating ice cream.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
We'll get back to it. I'm not trying to say that I think ice cream is good for you.
No,
and this is the thing. Health is so subjective. Yeah, I believe you can eat nothing but vegetables and still be very unhealthy in your diet.
Sure.
If you are not getting your necessary vitamins, minerals, the proteins, fats, you need all of it, you know? If you're just eating romaine lettuce, like you're not getting... So even though romaine lettuce is healthy, it can become unhealthy. Same thing with ice cream. Ice cream is not healthy, but it can become part of a healthy diet.
Sure, and better to have a bowl of ice cream, kind of like what we talked about, than maybe like a bowl of gummy bears, because the gummy bears they have nothing but sugar in them, and you're gonna have an insulin response from that. At least with ice cream, there is a little bit of protein and quite a bit of fat, and so it's better.
Yeah. And we'll talk, and it is one thing that I'm excited for Matthew to be on here, because he tracks and logs, but he has his own system. He has his own way of doing things, which we all should have. I don't ever want you to think that I'm sitting here telling you that you need to track and log my way or Amy's way is the only way. You have to make it your own, the way you track and log. Maybe it's not using an app. Maybe it's not writing anything down. It's you're just storing things internally, however you choose to do it. But Matthew has an interesting story about how he uses blizzards at
can't wait to hear it
at Dairy Queen, and it's a part of his thing. So, but today we do want to talk about a little bit of lifting, which is something that we do.
Yeah, we want to
pretty religious about.
We want to talk about the school of thought of lifting to failure, right, and the importance of it, and kind of like how you can. We've talked about progressive overload quite a lot, right? And so I don't want to delve into that too deeply again, but we want to talk about kind of like what constitutes failure, how often do we need to be lifting to failure, and what is the difference of somebody who really doesn't lift very someone who maybe is afraid to go to failure, right? Or is kind of backs off from that feeling of really taking themselves to that next level and really working very hard and kind of feeling that burn, versus somebody who is every time they hit the gym, they're lifting at least either to failure or very close to failure, and how much that can really benefit you.
Yeah. So I think first is just speaking about what the word failure means and what we're trying to get to there. So when I first started at Commit to Fitness, there was a person there that overheard me training my clients to failure and using the word failure. And this member came up and said that to me. Just said, "Hey, I just want to let you know I appreciate that you train your clients to failure." Okay. And I thought that was nice. And then I had another person that overheard that conversation that came up and kind of got in my face about using the word failure. And I kind of came in and said,
interesting.
Yeah, was speaking about, the word failure is a bad word. You shouldn't be using that when we're training clients. We should be using uplifting words. The word failure should be removed from the vocabulary.
People will argue about everything. I swear to God.
Yeah. So my always response in dealing with those individuals is I'm very good about having my divorce taught me this. I got an off switch. I just, I'm looking at you, and then all of a sudden that switch turns off, and I'm now thinking about my macros for my next meal, programming the next client. I'm standing there. Your lips are moving. I'm just not listening to you anymore. And then I'm very good about just disassociating from that person moving forward.
You are good at that. You're good about being diplomatic in general. Like,
oh, well, thanks.
Like, there have been conversations that you and I have gotten into at the gym with another member, for example, political ones. And you're so good about being diplomatic and kind of just like being like, oh yeah, okay. And meanwhile, I'm like getting redder in the face. Yeah. Like, I see red, I get rageful. Yeah. You don't do that.
Yeah, we had one. It was right after the Trump election, this recent one that Trump won, and this guy came in and just he was very excited about that. And for me, regardless of where you stand on that issue, there's certain things you just don't walk into a room the day of and kind of brag about that. To me, it's like when the Broncos lost the AFC Championship game with Jake Plummer, and the next day you go in and everybody's like talk about how awesome the Steelers are. You're like, man, can you just shut the fuck up for just a couple days? Like, can you wait a couple days?
Yeah.
But I do know this guy came in and just kind of was rubbing it in that Trump won, and it's as much as it was bothersome, was just trying to. I remember one thing this guy said. He goes, you know what your problem is you listen to mainstream media. And you said, well, what do you listen to? And he goes, well, Fox News. And we're like, well, that's the most mainstream media that there is. It is, because I think it is number one for ratings, right? It's like the number one.
I said to him, you are aware that Fox News is a propaganda machine and they actually don't even qualify as news anymore.
But even regardless of that, for you to say, I don't listen to mainstream media, and then you immediately, that's like true. Me. I don't get my sports from the mainstream sports media. Well, what do you watch? I watch ESPN. It's like, that's literally the biggest one. Going back to failure and talking about what failure is, and just philosophically speaking, to me, failure is the only way to grow.
Yeah.
Period. Not just in weightlifting, but in life.
Ooh, great point. Great point.
The only way that if you are just having success after success after success, which you see a lot of times, where people that are gifted money, or that and this is not everybody, but if you look at people like lottery winners, people that will just win the lottery, there's a curse that comes with that. And it's not because the money's cursed, but because you're dumping something, just a success, on someone that had no failure. And you don't know how to cope with that and deal with that, as opposed to someone that has built their wealth, has taken trial and error, and it's very hard for you to get cursed with that money. Like if you're running businesses for years and all of a sudden you strike a big deal and all of a sudden you're a multimillionaire, you don't tend to piss all that money away. But an 18-year-old who got a insurance settlement for a car accident that happened when they were 3 years old will blow that in a matter of weeks, and that becomes the failure.
Yeah.
So failure is important, and in speaking,
and it's not a bad word either. Like, the word, kind of like you're saying, the word to failing is not a bad thing. The people who are most successful in this world have failed over and over and over and over and over again. And every time they fail, it teaches them a lesson, and they do it again and they do it again until they succeed. So it's just funny to me that person came up and said, this is a bad word.
Many people consider Michael Jordan the greatest basketball player that's ever lived. And Michael Jordan, I think, habitually every year had the most missed shots every year. Nobody missed more shots than him every year, but the only way for him to succeed is to know, hey, you got to fucking huck it up.
Yeah.
Huck the ball, you got to throw it up there. It's where we learn to adapt. Evolution throughout history, that's the only reason why human beings are here. There's this astrophysicist I've been listening to, and I can't remember the guy's name, but he talks about how the failures throughout history of Earth that had to happen at specific times, or we would not be here as humans. And one is the asteroid hitting Earth and eliminating the dinosaurs, to the extent that the asteroid had to be a certain size. If it was any smaller, it wouldn't have been as much of an impact. If it was any bigger, it would have wiped out everything.
Oh my God.
The timing of where it was at, that it had to, because if the dinosaurs were still around, we probably wouldn't be the dominant species on Earth. We probably wouldn't have the internet if you got to navigate T-Rexes.
Yeah, right.
But
it's so funny.
It's just human evolution. So in the gym, what is failure? Failure should be defined as in your rep going to where you are unable to do it with good form.
Yeah.
At any point.
You're failing, right?
You're failing. You can't hit the lift again. So, which strikes us, not because most people, and I can tell you what you're thinking or what you're feeling right now. When I say that you got to go to failure, is that you have to put this maximum exertion that is, creating nosebleeds and hernias, falling over from absolute exhaustion. And that is not what we're talking about. Now, if you're going to compete in, like Eddie Hall, like if you're going to compete for the world's biggest deadlift, well, then you're going to have to get to that point. You're going to, but that's such a small.
But you're also not getting to that point every week, right? You're doing it infrequently, but you are getting to that point.
Yeah. And you see, like at the powerlifting composition at You know, like Lindsay Broadwell. Lindsay Broadwell broke. She was at our gym on this last weekend competing in a powerlifting event, squat, bench, deadlift, and she hit PRs on all of them.
She sure did.
She fucking crushed it.
Let's go, Lindsay.
Let's go, Lindsay. And Lindsay, over time watching her lifts and watching, she's so dedicated. She'll get there at 4 a.m, 5 a.m. She's there to get her lifts done.
Yeah.
Lindsay, I'll tell you this, if you watch her lifts, and Heidi will watch, any of us will watch it, you watch it and she's lifting it up and it's like, oh, fuck. Oh my God, right? I mean, it's taken everything out of her.
Yeah.
Her form is not what her form would look like if she's lifting 70%. But she has got to use everything that she can to get the bar up while still hitting certain markers, which the bar can't be uneven. It has to move up. It can never drop back down. She has to hit all these points. But when you watch it, like, you can tell she's not perfect form. She's fucking putting everything to get to that point. Most of us are not having to do that. Most of us aren't having to do that. Amy will tell you too, you know, for example, like a bicep curl. If we're trying to get you to go to failure on a bicep curl, we're not trying to get you to lift the heaviest fucking bicep curl that you've ever lifted before. That's requiring you to have your shoulder back. You're leaning over and you're putting everything into it. All we want is to figure out what is the weight that's going to get you to use great form. And to get up there in a good rep.
Yeah, and maybe you're like, but maybe you're shaking. Maybe you're like, oh, I don't know if I can get it all the way up there, right?
Yes. That's what we're looking at when it gets to failure. And there are so many ways to go about it, which is what we're excited to talk about. Because the one that you're probably thinking that we're talking about is your 1 rep max. Is just like, what is that one that you can go up one and it gets you all the way there? But that's generally not what we're doing in our scope of practice.
Correct.
Because generally what we're doing is we're building strength, but we're doing it through the means of hypertrophy.
Yes.
And we'll just go back and define hypertrophy as rapid muscle growth, which is done through volume. Lots and lots and lots of reps. So our rep counts are, well, I'll just let you tell me, what is your rep count? What do you like to do with your clients? What's your sweet spot of number when you're doing hypertrophy?
Yeah, great question. I would say sweet spot, as I think it is for most trainers and most populations of people, is between 8 and 12.
Yeah.
That said, it can certainly change. There are people, a lot, you know, my runners, especially the ones that are running shorter distances, we're doing lower reps, right? We're doing maybe like 4 to 6. And then there's people who are going a little bit higher than 12, but those are typically my newer clients. The ones where I don't want them to be lifting a lot of weight yet. Maybe we're just doing body weight and I might have them do like 20 body weight squats. Yeah. What about you?
Yeah. I like 12, but that's me personally. It depends on the person. Dannon, I train Dannon, and I'll say his name because me and Dannon are close. I don't think Dan will be upset that I'm talking about him.
No.
Dannon's incredible. Dannon is one of my favorite human beings, not just one of my favorite clients, one of my favorite human beings. Dannon pushes pretty hard, and Dannon does not like doing 12s. He just
don't like it.
He just doesn't like it. He doesn't like so much. Because it is those extra 4. It's an extra 4. Dannon likes coming in and he would like to do more exercises and do sets of 8s. Okay. Those 4 reps that you're missing in 4 sets is 16, which is about another set. It all adds up. Dannon likes 8s. And I like 8s with Dannon too.
Cool.
We're also, your 8 is allowing you to build a little bit more strength. A little bit more. It's negligible, but it's a little bit more strength. Me, I like 12s.
Okay. All right.
My favorites are Arnold style training. Arnold was doing like 12 by 12s, 10 by 10s, Germanic training.
Damn.
That's what I like. So instead of doing 4 sets of 10, you're doing like 10 sets of 10.
That's so many sets.
It's so many sets.
Oof.
Yeah. But
can I ask you, when you're training that way with that many sets, you're not hitting failure on the first set, second set, third set, like, right? Or are you?
You can.
Because how can you go to set 10?
It's generally by dropping weight.
Sure. Okay.
So, and you can say, you know, and this always goes back to your style of training. We've talked about it before. Pavel's ladder. I love Pavel's ladder. When I had, and for those of you that don't know Pavel, it's Pavel Tutsiatupo, I think is what his last name is. Don't ask me to spell it. He's Russian. He does kettlebell training. He's a fucking wizard. He's changed philosophies in training around the world, especially in kettlebell training. His ladder is designed to increase your pull-up count. You increase your pull-up count by doing 5 sets, and you're always improving your final set. So instead of making, because I would always go in and that's what I would always do, is your first set is where you're going all out, and then he doesn't believe that. He believes standard set 1 is standard. So for example, if you can do 12 pull-ups, you go 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. Your final set is 8. The next time you come in, you go 12, 11, 10, 9, 9.
Okay.
12, 11, 10, 10, 9. 12, 11, 11, 10, 9. 12, 12, 11, 10, 9.
Yeah.
Then you hit 13, 12.
Oh, okay.
So after 5 sessions, you increase that first one, but it's different. I enjoy doing that too.
Okay.
And I guess I shouldn't even say that it's like just 12s that I like. I'm sorry. It's probably because I like Arnold so much.
Sure.
That when I would Google what he was doing, it was just like the number 12 was, and you know what? And I could be wrong about this, but I think Arnold got 12 because like Serge Nubret was doing 8s or 10s, and he just has to one up it. That's just how Arnold always was. Funny. Like, whatever you're doing, I'm going to one up it.
Yeah, yeah.
You know? But going to failure would be, you know, on any of your sets, it's important that you're pushing to that point where, and failure is subjective as well.
Sure,
on your squats and your deadlifts. I always tell everybody, if I'm spotting you and we're doing bench press, I want you to go to failure to where you're going up and the bar comes back down and I have to assist you pulling it up. On a squat and deadlift, that's going to be different because I want it to be a mental failure where you're going up and you're like, I pushed through failure. I could do another one, but it would be with bad form.
Yeah, it's going to be different for a lot of functional exercises, I think. Like if you think about lunges, right? Which is, I give my athletes lunges a lot because they're really good for runners. It's like, where are you hitting failure on your lunge? It's harder to dictate that.
100%.
So there is, and we can certainly get in the weeds about this, but when we say failure too, like the kind of the school of thought is RPE of 8 or above, right? So like you want to be hitting RPE of 8 or above on your exercises in order to continue progressing and gaining muscle. Now, you don't necessarily want to be hitting failure, like 1 rep max failure, where again, you're like getting a nosebleed and you're like, you know, your blood vessels in your eyes are popping. You don't want to do that every day. You will not be able to recover from that. Yeah. And this is, I want to bring running into this too, because as a running coach, I'm not having my athletes do a time trial every week, right? They're not going to recover from that. You're racing, you know, maybe once a month. And then when most of my athletes do 2 hard speed days a week. And I would say in those speed days, there's one day that's more of like a tempo day. So that's probably an RPE of like 7 out of 10. And then there's another day that's more of an interval day that might be RP of 8 or 9. And then you've got your race days once a month, maybe twice a month, right? So you're going to that full failure part where you are crossing the finish line and you might be close to collapsing. You're doing that once or twice a month. You're not doing it every day. Right. So we also want to consider, what are we able to recover from? And are we recovering? Are we getting enough sleep? Are we eating enough? Are we taking creatine? Are we hydrating? Like all of these things. If you're not supporting your training through recovery modalities, you're just not going to recover the same way that somebody who is prioritizing that is. And maybe that person can go to failure more often than you. Yeah. And you also want to consider, what's your age range? If you're in your 20s, you can probably go to failure more than somebody who's 45. Yeah. Right? A woman who's in menopause.
I feel personally attacked here, but yeah. It's true. We know it. But right, yeah.
Right? Yeah.
100%.
So when we say failure, it is subjective, right? Like and that's where it's so important to have a trainer or a coach or something, especially if you have big goals, because we are able to look at you as an individual, as a unique person, and say like, okay, for you, this is how often we're going to failure, right?
Yeah.
Like, this is what this looks like. Again, you know, I know you do too. We have clients that come in, you know, every day or 3 days a week. We see them often. We're not going to have them go to failure upper body 3 days a week.
Yeah.
We're going to go to have them go to failure, close to failure upper body. And then the next day they come in, they're going to do lower body, or maybe they do a full body workout, but we're not working biceps every day.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it is subjective because everybody's different.
Yeah.
You know, it's just figuring out what works for you, and everybody is different. I know we always bring that up, but everybody is different.
Everybody's different.
I can tell you, me, when I'm going to failure, for heavy lifting, when I'm hitting 100 or 105%, when I'm going either a new PR, that generally is like 3 to 4 months for me. So it's like if I'm gonna bench press, it's like I'll test my bench press like every 3 to 4, maybe 3 to 4 months.
Right.
It's
But would you say you're getting up to you're doing 8s or 9s?
I'm doing most, like when I'm benching, I'll bench all sorts of different ways. I'll do the flat bench. I'll do the machine, the hammer press machine. I'll use dumbbells. So I'm always hitting bench, but 100% where I'm hitting 100% 1 rep max is about every 3 to 4 months.
Interesting.
Yeah. I'm mostly doing on my heavy lifts, 3s, 5s. I do the Wendler. I don't know if I've ever talked about it.
But I mean, before, like you would say your RP is up there.
Well, let's talk about that. Define RP. What does RP stand for those of you?
Perceived rate. Sorry, PRE, perceived rate of exertion. Am I saying that right?
So that's like on a scale of 1 to 10, what your, I feel like it just depends. Yeah, it just depends.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're really good about doing deload weeks. That's the other thing. You've got to be doing deload weeks also. You can't be going, and I do that for my runners too. So my runners are on a 4-week cycle. The first 3 weeks you're building, progressing in mileage and or intensity. And then 4th week is a deload week. Yeah. So same thing. You can't be going
still keeping blood. I'll tell this. I almost think deload weeks are harder than heavy weeks sometimes, because you're not used to it. You're not used to lifting lighter, and more reps. It's just different. I'll tell you, I'm probably not great business wise when I get new clients, because I almost chase new clients out by trying to tell them that they don't need me. You know, I'm always trying to be, but I'm very genuine about that. It's like they come in, I'm trying to show you, like, let me just show you some things, and then you take it with you. And I always hope that people come back. But, you know, I had a guy come in one time and he wanted to work with me, and we came in and I just found out real quick. I was like, you know, because he goes, I go to the gym. He's got a buddy. He would go to the gym and they're doing like sets of 10s and 15s. And he's showing me what they're doing. And it's really, you know, he's getting like on his biceps, he's just getting a thing and he's just doing this 12 to 15 times. And it's like, well, what do you feel? He goes, well, I'm just going through movements. And I said, okay, well, let's go get an easy curl, an easy bar for curls. We'll go preacher curl, put your elbows down, and and he's slow controlled. And it's like, yeah, do 8 to 10 of these. He's like, oh my God, I feel it. It's like, yeah, this is all we're trying to do, and get to that point where you're like, oh my God, that's the last one I can do. Now you know 40 pounds you can do 9, 9, 8, 8. Now you know to get to failure what you got to do. You need to get a 9, 9, 9, 8, and then get 4 sets of 9, and then turn your 9s into 10s, and then once your 10s turn into 12s, then we can drop. You can get the 40 and, you know, throw 45 pounds on now, and now we can reset, and you're doing 7s and 8s. But it's why figuring out what failure is. If you're just in there, because I know what it was like when I first got into lifting. I didn't know what I was doing. I just went in there and lifting, and it's like you don't know what the fuck you're doing. But when you have someone that shows you, just controlled, squeeze, do you feel how hard that is? It's like, yeah, now you know what to do. Go in and do that 10 to 12 times. You know, when do I know that I need to go up? Well, write your shit down. Keep track of your numbers, you know, or pay somebody to do it. That's what I do.
Right.
All
to track it for you.
All I really do is track your numbers and fucking video record what you're doing. I'm really just your journalist. That's really all I do, you know, but that's what the goals should be, you know, and just understanding, what should it be, 8, 10, 12, you'll figure it out. Yeah. You'll figure out what you want to do.
Let's talk about the people who are afraid of failure, because I have those clients.
Oh, yeah.
And they do
worry.
tend to be women.
And they worry about what?
And they worry about what that failure feels like.
Because it's similar to injury.
Synonymous with pain. Yeah.
It's pain.
Also.
And you think you're getting hurt.
Yes. Know? Also, and this is why I think it happens more with women than men, although I've seen it across both genders for sure, is that as women, we've been told our whole lives, don't get bulky. Don't get bulky. Yeah. Right? You want to tone. Which...
And what is tone?
Stupidest fucking word.
What is tone? This is the thing. They don't get it. What is tone?
Building muscle.
Building muscle.
That's all it is. Again, like the fucking
You don't tone by losing muscle. Losing muscle is losing weight. You're not toning.
The PR around women's fitness, especially the way it was in like the early 2000s, is just such bullshit.
Yeah. Like, oh, I can't do this because I'm going to get too bulky and I don't want to. Like, I build muscle so fast, and it's like, that's not the issue.
Oh, yeah.
That's not the issue. It's what you're putting in your body is the issue.
Correct. Yes. So from time to time, I get people that, and again, we when you're a good trainer, you're recording what weights your clients are using. You're recording what reps. You're recording what sets, right? And so, you give them 10 pounds more than they did last week. And they start and they're like, this is too heavy. And you're like, well, no, it's not, right? Like, if we look at our progress, it's not too heavy. But they're like, they start to feel the burn and they're like, oh, I don't want it. I don't want it.
Yeah.
And it's so hard. I feel like, in my experience, it's very hard to teach someone to enjoy that pain or teach somebody to not be afraid of it.
Not be afraid of it.
Yeah.
It's one of my themes. So if you take my yoga school class or any of my yoga classes, I theme my classes. And it's a little embarrassing because it's like 17 themes, I think. I just rotate them through. I say the same thing. So every 17 weeks, you're gonna get you'll get that same theme. It's scripted. I say the same quotes, the same thing. But one of my
17's a lot, though.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, I'm proud of it. And they're just I know I got to add some more. I got to add some more. To me, it's like I'm Bone Thugs and Harmony, and I go to concert and I'm just singing that one album. You just go and you're like, that's every time they come and see, it's like that's the one show you get. That's all you're getting. There ain't no new albums coming out.
Oh man.
Yeah, now I lost where I was going with the Bone Thugs and
the 17 themes.
But one of the themes is courage to fail.
Uh-huh.
And it's not, when you have courage to fail, it doesn't mean I'm going to try not to fail. It's you're brave enough to know I'm going to fall. I am not going to hit my goal, but I have to try it because that's the only way that you're going to break through and get to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
So it's being a little brave. Courage is not the absence of fear.
Not at all.
It's the mastery of it.
Yeah.
It's knowing that you're afraid of that you're doing something uncomfortable. You don't want to do it, but it's just be brave enough to do that, to feel that burning sensation. Yeah.
Well, and let me tell you guys, the clients I have that experience this fear of going to failure, they do not see the progress that my clients who are not afraid do. Like, I'm just going to say it. And a lot of times these clients will come to me a month later and they'll be like, I'm not seeing the progress I want to see. And I'm like, because you won't go to failure. Yeah. I'm telling you right now, that's what it is. You're not seeing the muscle progress. You're not seeing, and it sucks, but
a lot of it too, it comes from the mindset of I can't. We just have this, and I'm going to tell you this, where I hear it all the time is people with their diet. People are floored that I will eat before a workout. So many people are floored by it. They're like, I can't eat before. I just can't do that. And it's like, well, yeah, you can't. You can't because you don't want to.
Yeah.
When I first got in, this was my mindset. Before I got into nutrition or fitness, back when I was a degenerate, I'd go to bed drunk. You wake up in the morning with no appetite. I can't eat in the morning. It doesn't mean I can't eat in the morning. I don't want to because it's uncomfortable. So then you wait because I'm not hungry. I'm not really hungry yet. So then you go to work and you go until that and all hunger is hormone. It's a hormone.
Right.
It's just a hormone. It's a hormone that your body releases that makes you feel that sensation. Now I feel it. Now I eat. That I can't mindset. And those of you, if you're listening, you know who you are, because you say it to my face. I can't eat before I work out.
And to mine.
Yeah, you can. You just won't do it.
Yeah.
The same way that when we lift weights, the first time that you came in, I could not bench press 225 pounds. If I put 220, when I first walked into a gym, it would have killed me. Yeah, I can't do that. But you know what I can do? I can lift a little bit. Mm-hmm. And over time, you build that up. Correct. When I first got into fitness, eating before a workout was a hard thing. And during my workout was uncomfortable. You know what happens? Your body adapts to it.
Correct.
You build resiliency. So it's the same thing when we're going to this thing where people are like, I can't lift that weight. Well, you can. You just got to try it. Mm-hmm. And that's why if you have a trainer, someone that's there with you, we're not going to let the bar fall on you. You know?
Right. And why would you not try that? Yeah. And I just don't. Why would you not try it? I'm going to be right. And let's say we're doing goblet squats, right? There's really no, as long as your form is good, there's no concern that you're going to hurt yourself. You're not even doing a barbell squat.
Yeah.
You're not doing a bench press where the bar might fall on you. Why would you not, if I tell you that based upon what we've recorded in our progression, that you can do this weight, why would you not even just attempt it?
Yeah.
Are you afraid of what people looking at? Like, I don't understand it. I wish I did.
It's a preconceived notion out of the gates that the story has already been told. And successful people, you always heard these successful athletes, they picture, I guarantee you the guy that just broke the record for the marathon, the sub, did you go like under two hours or whatever? Mm-hmm. Yep. I guarantee you that guy visualized that. He pictured it happening. He pictured himself standing on the podium. He already knew that was going to happen. And then when he gets out there, the struggle, because that's not easy. I can't imagine. Because what's his pace? You know, he's running like 5-minute miles.
Far sub 5.
Sub 5 miles for.
It's like he's running like 4:30 something.
It's unbelievable, nonstop for hours. You know.
Now he's also. Well, no, I'm not going to say it.
Well, say it.
I was going to say he's probably doping.
Well, for sure. Yeah, 100% for sure. But still doing that is like, he already in his mind knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, actually, I want to just touch on that really quick because, and I want to talk about this woman in particular because I don't think she's doping, but,
that just broke the record.
She,
are you talking about the 250 miler?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's been footage released because she does a lot of podcasts and stuff. She's a professional ultramarathon runner, and she has a partnership with Koros. And there have been all these podcast releases of her being like, "No, I'm gonna go for sub 60 minutes." The men's record was 48 or 58 hours. I said 60 minutes, 60 hours. Was 58 something hours. She was like, I think I'm going to go for sub 60. What if I can do this? And she literally, they clipped her saying, I'm going to beat everybody. And she meant men and she won overall. She
Everyone.
Beat all
by
the
like
men.
3 hours, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Hours. I thought she smoked the dude's time.
Killian Northke was second. I'm not exactly sure what his time was, but
I thought it was like hours.
It probably was. I mean, she broke the course record overall. We're not talking about a woman's course record. She did that last year. She broke the women's course record last year. This year, she was clipped saying multiple times, I'm going to beat everyone. It's just like, gives me goosebumps. Yeah. It's just so fucking cool.
Yeah, it reminds me when my son was in junior high and he was on the cross country team and we go to these meets and there was and I don't know who she was, but she was this girl. She's probably 12, 13 years old and she was dusting everybody.
Yeah.
So they put her in with the males. She was on the boys side. So she wasn't running with the girls. She was running with the boys.
Yeah.
And they couldn't fucking keep up with her.
Yeah.
You know? And you were like, that's going to be an All-American. You know, she's going to kind of get whatever she wants by working that hard, you know?
Totally. And mindset is so important with that. And again, to take it back to going to failure, you have to have that mindset that like, I can do this, but also if I don't do it, it's okay to fail. And to hear this woman, and I watched so many clips of her podcast last night saying during a podcast, like, why not me? Right? I've run this course 2 other times and I've won both times. Why not me? Yeah. Right? And if I fail, I'm going to fucking go for it anyway. Yeah. Because why would you not?
Yeah, it's a mindset.
It is a mindset.
It reminds me of this last class of women's basketball players that got drafted into the NBA. And I don't know enough about the NBA or their names or to know who they were, but it was the recent class, and they were interviewing them. They were talking about, hey, would you beat LeBron James in one-on-one? And all these girls are like, fuck yeah, I'd smoke him. And you're like, you're watching it, and you almost take offense to it as you're watching it, and you're like, oh, that's a fucking dumb thing to say. Like he's 6'8", he'd crush these girls. But when it's in a men's sport and you have men, it's like, well, that's a part of the mindset is you have to think that way. No one's stopping me. No one. I don't give a fuck who you are. I will beat you. I don't care if you're the number one player in the world. I will beat you. So you have it's like, well, why do you think that they're number 1 and number 2 overall in the draft? They're the top drafted athletes because they have that mindset. They're not like, you ask them like, hey, are you going to beat LeBron? Oh yeah, you're sheepishly, I don't know. He's actually really good. He would probably beat me. No, I'm fucking coming. The guns blazing. I'm kicking down the door. Get ready for me. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you fail, you fail, but you're not going in with the mindset that you're going to fail. It's like you're going in with like, I'm going to kill you.
Right.
You know?
Yes. I mean, in high school, when I was really a very good runner, visualization was one of the most important parts of my training up to a race. The 2 nights before the race, that's how I went to bed. I would have my Discman. I'm aging myself. I would have my Discman and I'd put my headphones on and I'd listen to, because I always had like a song or like an album that I'd listen to before I raced. And I'd like put it on, I'd close my eyes and I'd sit in bed and I'd visualize the entire course. And I'd visualize myself running it and I'd visualize myself winning it. And I won pretty much every race in high school that I ran.
I love that.
And it's a very, and you don't always have that ability. Like when you become an adult and you're racing around the country, you don't always have the ability to know what every course looks like, right? Like you haven't necessarily run it before, especially in a marathon. Like you're not going to go out and jog 26 miles for fun just to see the course. In high school, we had that, we had that privilege because you would go out and you jog the 3-mile 5K course before every meet. But still you can visualize, maybe you drive the course and you see certain parts of it. And even if you're not able to do that, you can visualize yourself out there passing people, right? Like, and what are you going to do at this mile? And what are you going to do at that mile? And what are you going to do at this mile? And I'm not saying you have to visualize before you go to the gym what your workout is going to look like. But I also think you can tell yourself like, oh, I'm going to the gym today. I have an appointment with my trainer. I'm going to fucking crush it today.
Yeah.
Right? Like my trainer's going to tell me to do some heavy weight that I've never done before, and I'm going to do it.
Yeah. You can tell the clients that come in excited about what they're doing. The ones that come in, they're like, yeah, today's going to be hard. The ones they walk in the door, they're like, I was listening to music. I'm pumped up. I'm ready. It's like, yeah, let's go. You're going to have a successful session. It is. Yeah, it's what you visualize, what you tell yourself. If you tell yourself that failure is the worst thing that can happen to you, then yeah, it's probably the worst thing that can happen to you. But if you look at it like, yeah, I'm going in with the full intention that I'm going to fall flat on my face, but we're going to try anyways. Yeah. You're going to gain more out of that than it's just the same thing with the lottery winners. What would you rather, you win the lottery and then you end up owing debt 10 times more than you had before. It's that success didn't give you anything other than more failure that you have to encounter, as opposed to, and I'm not saying that I would love to win the lottery.
Wouldn't we all?
Yeah, it's not what I'm saying. Like, like if you win the lottery, give it back. But it's generally putting yourself through adversity, doing hard things, trying when you knew that you weren't going to succeed. You're going to grow and adapt and be well better for it than if you weren't. And then just going back into lifting, what that is, is regardless of what your lift is getting to that point where, because you know what it is. Yeah. Like you know what it is. It's kind of pushing through that uncomfortable moment, whether it's just one rep or it's, if you're trying to do a clean and a press where it's, it requires more moving parts, whatever it is. It's getting to that point where you may not complete the lift with the correct form.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, you might have to, you failed. Next week, you may get there, you know?
Well, I liked what you said at the beginning of the episode when you talked about adaptation, right? Like failure has been through the history of the world and is adaptation. And like that's what's happening when you're in the gym and you're going to failure or close to failure. Your body is adapting to that, right? Not only is your body adapting to that, but so is your brain, right? Like, so if you are somebody who is accustomed to and comfortable with going to failure in the gym, you're probably also doing that in your life.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's, if you are used to attacking hard things in the gym, you're going to attack hard things in your life, and you're going to put yourself in environments and situations where you can grow because they're fucking hard and it makes you better.
Yeah. Yeah. I heard, this astrophysicist, I wish I could remember the guy's name. But he talks about all sorts of different subjects, and he was talking about what if all the people from the from the 1700s, when we first had our industrial, or the revolution that gained us our independence from Great Britain. Mm-hmm. What if all those guys were still alive and they were still running the show? Could you imagine that? I mean, we talk about how corrupt politicians are now and how, but could you imagine if it was, we just never changed, and we had like if they were immortal, those guys never died. Those guys that were running Congress and running the presidency, those guys were still in charge and not adapting to the way the world is now. It's a part of life. Death has to happen. The old has to go away and the new comes in. You do that through failure. Your 8s, your 9s turn into 10s. Mm-hmm. Your 40 pounds turn into 45 pounds, turn into 50 pounds. The death of the 40 is the only way that you get 45, Yeah. The death of 47 is the only way we get 48. Or a re-election of some sorts. If you were reading into what I'm saying, but just going, this is the only way for us to do it. God. Is you have to fail. You have to get to that point of failure. And there's multiple ways to do it. There are multiple ways to do it. If you're powerlifting, you're probably going to have to go to that wobbly to push through. If you're just trying to build muscle, it's very strong, good form. You may not need to break that form barrier, and just I keep bringing up bicep curls, but those are probably the easiest one for me to visualize, because a bicep curl generally is, you see people in there lifting like this. Well, you're not hitting your bicep here when you're doing that. Where's all the leverage going? It's my shoulders, my core. You're using a lot of your body to get that weight up. If I'm trying to build my bicep, it's fixed, and I'm just trying to get to that point where I can't get the weight anymore with that good form, or I have to jerk to get it up. Well, I've reached that point.
Yeah, right.
I've reached the point where I found the weight. I found the rep count. I can do this 5 times. Next week, my goal is 6 times, maybe 7.
Yeah.
But that's how you do it, is you get to that point. I'll tell you this in yoga. In yoga, pushing through to failure, I think about this all the time, because I teach this format a lot, is hot power fusion. Hot power fusion is the fusion of hot style yoga with power yoga.
Yeah.
Hot yoga generally we think of as temperature. Hot is temperature. The heat is the Western world's response to the East. We don't want to be as mindful, so we pump the heat up so I don't have to fucking breathe as hard to sweat. Hot yoga is generation of internal heat that makes you sweat. Compression. That's what it is. Power style yoga is flowing, moving, breathing through the movement patterns. So hot power fusion, that class, is a fusion of the two. You're blending hot style yoga with power style yoga. At the end, we're doing our folds, and your folds are, I'm going to take my left leg, put it inside my right. You lean forward. I'm going to reach for my basket grip, grabbing my foot, and you're going to fold forward. Well, we always tell you, connect your forehead with your knee. But why is that so important? Why is that forehead to knee connection? Does it really mean anything? Well, this is our means of determining failure. Because if you're not connecting your head with your forehead, it's all subjective. I don't know if I'm really going to failure, but when you get your head to your forehead to your knee, now you've created that point. You're lengthening that stretched position of where you're at. You've reached that point of failure. And as long as you continue to have your forehead on your knee over time, you will stretch into it to where all of a sudden your leg is straight out. But that's not going to happen without the forehead to knee connection because there's no tool to measure it, which is why most people fail in the gym with their results. That failure of gaining results is generally because you're not pushing through to failure, and you're not doing that because you're not recording your lifts.
Yeah.
You're not keeping track of data. You're not recording what you're doing. If you don't know the score of the game, you're never going to win. You may think you're winning, but you're never going to win. If you're tracking your numbers, then you know what it takes to get to failure. My failure was 8. It needs to be 9. So that's, I like this today.
Me too. Yeah, I think it was good. Especially tying it into like life and mindset and everything.
100%. Yeah. We always say this. We say this all the time. We do hard things as a group together. So when we get back into the real world, we do the hard things that are necessary to build our families and our communities up.
Yeah.
So it's not just that we're coming in here and we're building strong bodies and strong minds. We're building strong mindsets and wills that take us through to real life. Most of our clients that succeed are not just, they don't just come into the gym and succeed in the gym and then go back and are fucking miserable failures in their lives.
Right.
They generally tend, that shit bleeds into almost every one of my clients that does that has results. They always refer to how it impacts their life,
especially the ones that are happy to be there, right? The ones that are happy to be there, they want to be there, they're making a choice to come in, and they're actually like, they're present when they're there. I do have some clients that I feel like they almost do it just to say they do it, right? They're like, I've had them before. I've had those ones,
or
maybe somebody else is paying for their training, or or maybe they're paying for it, but they have so much money that it doesn't matter, you know, and it's like, they just
want to show people that they're doing it.
Yeah. They want to be able to say, I have a trainer, you know, and those people may not be doing as good in life, but it's very connected.
What you put in will always be what you get out. My 5th grade teacher at Jenny Wilson Elementary in Garden City, Kansas called it GIGO. GIGO. Garbage in, garbage out. What you put in your calculator, whatever you type into your calculator is what your calculator is going to put out. He was teaching us how to use calculators back in the day. That's where that term came from. Garbage in, garbage. The calculator's not wrong. What you put in is what you get out. But I always took that with me in life as what you put in is what you get out. If you put garbage in, garbage is going to come out. If your garbage mindset is what you feed into everything you do in your life, that's what's going to present itself to you every corner you turn. If you come in with the mindset that I'm going to fail and I'm going to get past that point, and regardless of what happens, I'm going to learn something from it, life's going to hit you hard and fast, and you're going to adapt to it, and you're going to be better for it than if you didn't lift weights before.
I think that's a good place to stop.
I do too.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining us for another episode of Gym and Tonic. Hopefully we can get back on more of a normal schedule now that the gym is opening, and we're... you know, maybe things aren't going to be quite as crazy. They'll be a little crazy still, but hopefully it'll get better.
Stay tuned for Matthew Rebeck.
Yep. We're recording that next week, right?
We've got a couple more coming on, but we're excited to have him on. He's just a great human being.
Yeah, totally.
Great human being.
So follow us at Gym Tonic CO on YouTube to watch our videos. You'll find us at Gym and Tonic on anywhere you get your podcast, Spotify, Apple Music.
Gym ampersand Tonic, correct? The and is the ampersand.
I forgot how I put it in there.
I don't think it's A-N-D.
Yeah. It might be the ampersand.
Tonic, but with the ampersand is where you can find us too.
Yes. Robbie is 3 Boys and Dad on Instagram, number 3. I'm Chasing Amy, 2 G's _, Amy with 2 Y's. Hyro is Hyro_Lopez with 2 Z's .303, the number 303. The gym is C2F Arvada, the number 2 F. Arvada.
C2F Arvada.
And our new space is literally one door down from our old. So it's 6510 Wadsworth Boulevard, suite number 100.
Yep.
Sauna gets delivered tomorrow.
What does?
The sauna.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Did I
have
not?
a sauna?
I didn't tell you that.
I didn't know we had a sauna. Everybody, we have a sauna.
Guys, we're getting a sauna.
I didn't know that.
It's being delivered between 8 and 10 tomorrow morning.
Oh, cool. I did not
It's a
know that.
2-person sauna.
Oh, wow.
We have a reservation system set up already on our new system.
Oh, how cool.
We're going to have memberships, including the sauna. They're called our performance memberships. Then we're also going to have pay-as-you-go options for the sauna, too. You just have to make reservations on the app.
That's awesome. Good stuff.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.